Well, when you ask that question, what I immediately think of and remember, my dad told a story of when he was a young man, and a preacher in the church he was in told him, Jesus put the down payments on your salvation. What you have to do now is keep up the payments. And the idea was that if you don't keep up the payments on your salvation, then you cease being a Christian at that point. And my father actually rejected Christ for many, many years and was into adulthood before he became a believer. And when he became a believer, it was because someone had showed him out of Scripture that it was not that he had to keep up the payments, but that Jesus had paid it all. And we recognized, I don't have to keep up my own salvation. And that's always a reminder to me of that necessity of us helping people to understand that God is the one that keeps us saved, not our own efforts or anything that we do that keeps us saved. That's clearly affirmed in John chapter 10 when Jesus says that my sheep, no one can snatch them out of my hand. You can't get them out of my hand. And so there can't be ex-Christians, because those that fall away from the faith, those that reject the faith that they once professed, were never Christians in the first place. That's why it says in 1 John, when John's writing to this church where there had been some conflict and strife and some people had left the church, he said, those that went out from us were never of us. They were never part of us. In other words, what he's saying is that if they'd really been part of us, they would have stayed with us. And so when we look at somebody that says, I was a Christian once, now I'm not, what we're hearing is somebody that has deluded themselves at some level, because what they're saying is that that once I trusted Jesus, once I was a part of God's family, but now I am no longer. And the fact is that if somebody is no longer, they never were in the first place. One preacher I heard, and it's a little corny, but it's totally true, he put it, faith that fizzles before the finish was flawed from the first. And it's like, okay, that's true. I think that's exactly right. And the fact is that we can't even commit spiritual suicide, we might say, because it says in 1 Peter, in Peter's letter to the Christians that he's writing to there, he says that we have been born again of an imperishable seed. In other words, it can't die. Well, the way that God has made us born again is something that cannot die. So there are non-Christians and there are Christians, but there are no ex-Christians, because those who have truly trusted in Jesus Christ not only trust Jesus Christ, but they persevere in that same faith to the end.